Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Hello everyone. Happy Saturday. Happy rainy Saturday. At least here in Chicago. It's pretty gloomy weather today, but we'll make the best of it. So welcome to session 22 of Fasting Roll Call. If you're unfamiliar with what Fasting Roll Call is, it's a place to share not only my story when it comes to fasting, but yours as well. This is a place for accountability, a place to share how you're doing, whether you are succeeding or you're having a couple setbacks. There's no judgment here. This is a place to talk about where you're at on your weight loss, your health and happiness journey. So we'll leave it at that. I do see people in chat here. I will say hi. I might not say hi right now because I want to do things a little different. Actually, what I want to start doing today is I want to get into the content first, and then I'll go into chat for Q&A, but I'll try to check it out when I can, especially if something is appropriate for that time to talk about. But I want to talk about finding your fasting routine, getting back on the wagon when it comes to fasting. I think a lot of us have issues when it, not when it comes to just fasting in general, but I think a lot of us have a hard time maintaining our fasting routine, staying on top of where we need to be when it comes to just, yes, fasting, but just our whole health and happiness journey. I think a lot of us have issues with that because one, it's difficult for a lot of people. It's difficult for a lot of us to find that consistency. You know, the one thing that I have said time and time again is that consistency is key. I still believe that to this day. And without that consistency, without finding that routine, all of us are going to have a struggle maintaining or losing weight or being where we need to be. So I'm going to go through my notes here and make sure I have everything covered. But let me see. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to share a couple screenshots of where I've been and where I started finding missteps in what I'm doing. So I think, for me at least, for those that don't know or who are unaware of my journey, I started my journey back in September of 2019. I at that time I weighed in at 220 pounds. And then from September 2019 to December 2020, I had dropped from 220 pounds to 124.4 pounds, nearly 100 pounds. But I have lost, if we're talking about highs and lows, I have weighed as much as 235, if not more than that. The scale wasn't really a thing for me then when I weighed that much. And I have been as low as 124.4. I have never really been anything under, I would say under 180, maybe 175, until I started doing what I've been doing now, which is extended fasts with short refeeds, with big refeeds, but then repeating the process over and over, which I like to call, or which I suppose a lot of us call, rolling fasts, right? I would perform a 90-hour fast or a 65-hour fast, followed by a 2 to 3 hour refeed, sometimes 3 to 4 hour refeed at about 6,000 calories or more. Now, that isn't everyone's preferred method, but that's what worked for me. And I was very consistent with it to the point that I lost so much weight that it was automatic. At one point in time, it was very automatic, which has been very prevalent in the videos that I have shared throughout this channel. I think when I started, I was somewhere in the 160s or 170s when I started my YouTube channel, and then brought myself down to the 120s. But I was doing 90-hour fasts consistently month after month, and then 65-hour fasts consistently month after month. And it was only until, and I'm going to share this with you now, it was only until the end of December when I slipped. So this month in December, I had completed a 141-hour fast. This was like prior to my birthday. And that's when my goal was to get under 125 pounds. And I did on, right, I think it was December 2nd or December 3rd or right around there. My birthday's on the 3rd, but it was right around this time that I hit 124.4 pounds. And it was also at that time I told myself that I was going to switch from 65-hour fasts to 42-hour fasts because I had lost so much weight, but I was also going to start lifting weights. I was going to start adding muscle. And it's something that happened, which I filled in my shirts a lot better. I think at the time when I had lost all that weight, I didn't really think, I felt like I might have lost a little too much weight. And it's something I guess I didn't think about because I had just been overweight, obese my entire life, that I didn't even, for me, it's just like the more weight I could lose, the better. But there was definitely a point where I was like, okay, I probably need to put on a little weight, probably be more beneficial if I added a little muscle as well. But you can see here, I transitioned from 90-hour fasts to 65-hour fasts to 42-hour fasts. And you can see the consistency here. I was very consistent, right? 47, 45, 44, 44, 43, blah, 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 blah. Even performed a 66-hour fast here so that I could, I think, eat more on Christmas, which is, I think, what happened right here. And then you'll see a slip right here. Towards the end of December, I had it looks like here a long refeed, and then a 21-hour fast, and then an 18-hour fast. Why did that happen? We're human. We can't do everything perfectly. And even though I've been consistent for so long, I think this is the first time in a long time that I had any kind of slip. But, you know, in that same respect, I've been doing it for so long that I was just like, I'll get back on that wagon. I'll be good. And luckily, for those 2 specific days where I ate back to back and had short fasts, the month of January, I was back on track. I was doing my 42-hour minimum fasts, and you'll see here the entire month, back to back to back to back in the 40-ish range. Again, prior to this, it was 65 regularly. Before that, 90-hour regularly. So the month of January was good. February rolls around. Okay, so I'm going to explain something here. On February 2nd, you'll see a 20-hour fast and you'll see a big gap here. Now, does that mean I didn't fast during this time? That isn't true. But I did eat back-to-back days, I feel like a good number of days. Actually, this might have been the time I ate back-to-back, I think 9 days in a row. And you'll see I tried to counterbalance that with a 182-hour fast. Now, this isn't, I'll tell you right now, this is not an ideal solution to lose weight or to maintain weight. For me, especially, because I'm a person that eats a lot, right? I'll eat 6,000 calories in 2-3 hours or whatever. And I could repeat that process over and over if I really wanted to. And to allow myself to eat back-to-back days just accelerates that process because it's no longer 6,000 calories. If I put myself in a situation where I am just eating what I want, whenever I want, all day, every day, that's easily 10,000 calories, if not more. I've never recorded myself doing that because the last thing I really want to do is record myself overeating that way, like in a binging way where I'm not even mindful anymore. I'm laying on this couch and I'm going to eat the bag of chips in front of me and like the stuff I normally wouldn't buy, I buy because I've put myself in that situation. Okay. So I'm going to go back into this calendar though, because I just want to share essentially what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tell you that while I've been so good and while I have lost all this weight, I am human. I have slipped up. And we're going to go through that process right now. So you'll see here in February, this was a bad week. I followed it up with a 182-hour fast, followed by a 64-hour fast. And you'll see a 22-hour after that, and then a 44, 43, and then a 20. And then you'll see the 27th and 28th empty. Those were probably back-to-back days eating as well. I had fallen into, I won't call it a downward spiral, but I had fallen into a place that I thought I wasn't really going to find myself in anymore. So let's go ahead and we'll move into March, right? If you look at March, a lot of it is the same story. You'll see I completed a 163-hour fast here after kind of eating, I mean, maybe 4 or 5 days back to back, followed by a 70. And then you'll see another full week here. Now, again, it doesn't mean that like I ate the entire day here. I just wasn't logging, which is like mistake number one. One thing that helps keep me accountable on top of YouTube, on top of whatever, and like being transparent is hitting the timer, starting the timer, stopping the timer. Those setbacks, those missteps will put me in a really bad place. And that's kind of what it did. This is also the time, March is also the time, or February, when like I was working my new gig on top of like my other gigs. And like, I was very stressed out, very overwhelmed with work. I'm in a lot of respects, I'm still very overwhelmed with work. It's something that I am working on, finding that work-life balance, but the next couple months you'll see have been very rough. So you'll see a big gap here. And look, I follow it up with a 168-hour fast. It's like, oh, I fucked up. I ate way too much 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row, but I'll follow it up with a week-long fast. Does that really fix it? I'll tell you right now, for someone like me, it won't fix it, because when I eat for those 6, 7 days in a row, I'm not being mindful, right? I'm eating way more than I need to. I'm overeating to the point where it's not 6,000 calories. Like I said, I'm doing 10,000 or more. I'm eating at a rate that I know is going to be detrimental, and it showed on the scale. It showed in the clothes that I wore. I didn't gain. Luckily, I didn't gain a ton of weight. Like I didn't go back to like weighing 230, whatever. I didn't go back to where I couldn't fit into the clothes I wore anymore, but I was heading towards the direction that I felt uncomfortable with. I wasn't feeling as confident as I was in my body. My mind wasn't where it needed to be. And again, like, yeah, I can use work as an excuse, but I think we all know at this point that we need to stop making excuses for what we do, for the actions we take, that we need to be accountable for what we're doing, why we're doing it, you know, forgiving ourselves, right? That like, hey, shit happens, but we need to learn from those mistakes and at least trying not to repeat those mistakes over and over and over. So let's go ahead and we'll move into the month of April. So April had a little bit more consistency. I think what I was trying to do, I think for me, at least in the month of April, I felt that I knew I was already gaining weight. I had put on a little more weight than I was initially at. So we'll share this again. In December of 2020, I weighed 124.4, right before my 40th birthday, or right on my it was, I think December 2nd, I was 124.4. I hit the goal that I wanted to. I also realized I was way, the weight wasn't where I wanted to be at. So I had started going to the gym. I stopped doing 65-hour fasts. I went down to 42-hour fasts. So I was eating every other day, more like an alternate day fast. And that weight put myself back up to, I think, around 100. Yeah, I was good for like 140 pounds, right? That's where I was at. And I was good there. I was very happy at 140 pounds with the added muscle and eating every other day. I felt really good. And like I said, what ended up happening is for the months of, where is my arrow here? For the months of February, for March, and for April, you'll just see there's a lot of missed days there, me not hitting the timer as I should. And that weight went from 125 to 140. And I believe at one point, around this time, around April and May, I was finding myself in the high 140s, low 150s. And it's funny because sometimes I look back and I'm like, how did I get myself here? one, work, right? Using work as an excuse. Like, yes, work has been overwhelming. Work has been a lot on me, but like that was one of the ways to help de-stress. Not the proper way to de-stress. I know that I found much better ways to de-stress than eating eating my way out of it, because I know what happens after that. Downward spiral, feel shitty, repeat the process. Months later, I'll find myself in a place I don't want to be. Luckily, because of what I've learned over the last almost now coming up to 22 months, I found that we'll call it minimizing damage, right? I was minimizing the damage because this could have been a lot worse. Before I get into like how it could have been a lot worse, let's also remember that when I started this new gig, I stopped posting on YouTube. I stopped making videos. I stopped being accountable. Now, not only was I not hitting the timer and making sure I was having to do what I needed to do, but now I also was not like making the videos to be like, hey, this is where I'm at. Like I was hiding. I was putting myself in I was good for the most part, because I would do like a week fast and I'd be like, yeah, I'm good. My mind is, but it really wasn't. I was struggling and like internally struggling. I think to a point where it was like, am I okay? Or am I okay eating 4 days in a row and then fasting for a week? Like that. And like, I think at the time I was telling myself, no, you're good. Like you're doing it fine. But I think in reality, I wasn't. I think I know I was slipping. I was slipping to a place where it's like, okay, if I keep this up, that weight is just going to keep going up and up and up. So, where was I? I had something I was trying to make a point about something earlier and I forgot. But we'll go back to the calendar. I'm sure it's going to come back to me. So you'll see here that my way of fixing things was just to perform much longer fasts. I told myself, Jerome, you did it before, you can do it again. So you see a 70 here, you'll see 115, a 93, a 45, and then you'll see these days. And these, I'm almost certain, were just back to back eating, gorging, binging days. And how do I correct it? With a 119-hour fast, followed by a 68. And then you'll see these slip ups here. You'll see those slip ups. Again, not the way to do it. Not the way to do it. Yeah, I was being consistent. I'm still consistent in my fasting, but like these last couple months were probably the hardest months for me out of the entire 20 some months that I have been fasting. So let's go ahead and we'll get into May. So the month of May, you'll see back-to-back 100-hour fasts. I think I even remember posting something on my Instagram saying the entire month of May, I'm going to do 100-hour fasts back-to-back. And I think that was me trying to like fix what I had messed up. You'll see that that didn't last. You'll see a 50-hour fast here, followed by a whole week of nothing. Whole week of nothing, followed by a 118-hour fast, followed by a 90. And then we go into June right now, this month. I'll tell you right now that this month of June has been the most consistent for me since back in January. Are they the long fasts that I was used to doing? No, they're not. You'll see a 46, a 62, a 47, and you'll see this was the only day this month I have eaten back-to-back days. You'll see a 19-hour fast here, but I followed it up with 116. And then now there have been a string of 42-hour fasts, a 44, a 49, a 69, a 44, a 45, and a 60, which I think, hold on, give me 1 second. Wherever I put my, oh, here it is. I just want to let you know where I'm at the moment. So currently I'm at 60 hours and 33 minutes. I have found my routine again. I have been consistent again. Does it mean that I'm going to be consistent forever now? Probably not. Most likely not. Am I going to slip up again? I most likely will. But what has changed? What's changed for this month? What's changed for this month in June why have I been so consistent now again this month that I wasn't consistent in May, in April, in March, in February, whatever, right? So two things come to mind here. One is the stress of work, the added workload, everything that has like, yes, that's been a factor. No, it hasn't. The way I deal with that stress is not proper. Something I'm working on, something I consistently work on, something I think we all have issues with that we try to like figure out wherever we're at. I think we all deal with stress in different ways. For me, it's by eating and mostly overeating and just saying fuck it to the world, lay on this couch, do nothing, watch TV all day, don't exercise. You see where I'm going with that. Other people deal with it in different ways, right? If it's not food, people could deal with stress. You know, people drink, drugs. I mean, some people even deal with stress by working out too much or doing too much of something, right? And so when I talk about like this healthy and happy journey, like my struggles come with my weight. They come with overeating. And I think a lot of you are on here because I think a lot of you deal with similar situations. Like what I say resonates. And what I'm trying to get at is, yeah, this might be a fasting channel and like I share my issues when it comes to my personal journey, but I think no matter what you're going through, whether it's an issue with food or an issue with working out too much or not even eating enough or other ways of like finding a way to escape, I think we all know that we might have tendencies that are not the most healthy ways of coping. And maybe in a way that like this channel is still a way to like tell people like, hey, like we might not have the same issues when it comes to eating or drinking or whatever, but I think we can relate. I think we can resonate, which is why I remember in the past when I would try to explain to people that I had issues with food, that I had issues with eating or overeating, or that it was an addiction. Like using the word addiction and food rings so true to me, but you'll see in my videos, I don't use those two words a lot. I don't really put them hand in hand. And it's not because I do not think that food is an addiction, because I absolutely believe that I do have an addiction to food. But sometimes I have a hard time saying those two words a lot together because of how people react when I say that. I don't know if people who are in chat have had this situation, but every time I use the word addiction and food, a lot of times it's pushed back with scrutiny. And I think something I've said before too is like, I'm not trying to say that my issues with food is worse than anyone that has issues with alcohol or drugs or smoking or whatever, right? I'm not trying to say that. All I'm just trying to tell people when I try to explain what's happening is like, yeah, I have issues with food that leads to depression, that leads to like very bad habits, like not talking to people, not attending things. I think, and I think a lot of people might be watching this and you're like, well, why would you even have to explain it to people? Well, because I have missed weddings, because I have missed family having children and not seeing them. I've missed like not going to see my mom on Christmas, like things like that. Like it's gotten that bad that the depression was so bad that I did not want to talk or see anyone. I've had, like, as much as I might not even want to share that, I've had people like come to my apartment door, knocking on my door to make sure I was alive, that I was okay. And I think it was those moments when I realized, like, yeah, I have an issue. Like this is something that like is a problem. Okay. So I know I might have lost track with some of this stuff, but really what I'm talking about now is how did I find consistency again this month in June? And one, if you guys noticed, I think there is a big correlation to my consistency now for this month to how often I've been posting on YouTube, right? How often I've been posting on my Instagram for Finally Fasting. Does that mean that making YouTube videos makes me better at fasting? No, it's not that. What I'm trying to say is making these videos is my accountability. Making these videos means I have to get in front of this camera for you to see me, right? And I think it really helps push me to continue my fasts. It helps me to remember, it's like, oh shit, Jerome, you got to be on camera. You got to let people know what's going on. You got to let people know how you're doing. If we look back at these previous months when I wasn't consistent, right, with all these gaps in here, that was when I stopped letting you know how things were, right? I'm back on Patreon again. I'm back on Patreon, and I have been posting every other day on my Patreon, letting people know where I'm at in weight. People are sharing now their stories again of like where they're at, how they're doing. I've been commenting on that. So like all of this is putting me back in that same position I did back in March of 2020, when I was very consistent because I was putting myself there. I was putting myself on, on my soapbox, or not a soapbox, but you know what I mean? I was putting myself on stage to say, hey, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. And I'm not saying that you need that kind of accountability, but if it helps, why not? It doesn't mean you have to make a YouTube channel. It doesn't mean you have to make an Instagram page or whatever to talk about your weight loss, but it doesn't mean that you can't. But maybe what might help is to talk to someone, to let someone know that like, hey, I'm doing this because I need to be accountable. Maybe it's to get coaching, to find an accountability coach, or just find an accountability partner. This is my way of getting myself back on track. I think I knew this for the longest time. I just didn't think I wanted to come to terms with it. I think I kept telling myself month over month that I was good. I'm correcting these back-to-back days of eating by fasting long periods of time, but I knew that wasn't, I mean, I know a lot more now that really wasn't the answer of doing it. So I think that's how I found my routine. To add on to that, because I think the next question here, or at least the next thing that I'm sure a lot of people wonder is, well, how do I personally, not me, but like anyone who's watching this, how do I get back into my fasting routine? How do I get back into my happy and healthy place? How do I find where I need to be? Because I did it before, I was there before, and I can't seem to get back into it. So I don't really have a set list of steps for this, but I can share with you maybe the steps you need to take to get there. One, I already talked about it, accountability. Find an accountability partner, find an accountability coach, put yourself out there, give yourself these goals of actually doing your fast or whatever like routine it is that you're doing. Whether it's like, hey, I told myself I was going to walk at least 2 miles 5 days a week or whatever, or do cardio or lift weights, like hold yourself accountable to it. Find a partner to do it. Just do it, right? Like just get out there and do it. Whether that means you are hitting the timer to start your fast and then hitting the timer to end your fast instead of saying you're going to give yourself a 90-hour fast. You only completed 48 hours. So you're not even going to hit the stop timer because I fucked it up anyway, so I'm not going to do it. Like, doing that is putting yourself outside of that accountability. You're no longer being accountable for your actions. Like, yeah, you might be disappointed that you didn't hit your 90-hour fast or what have you, but you should still make yourself accountable by saying like, hey, this is what I did. And I'm going to refeed short and then start my fast again and do it over and over again. I think what I needed to do, which is what a lot of people I feel like need to do, is find your routine again. Find your routine of what you're doing. Like, find what's worked for you in the past and take those steps to get back there. That also doesn't mean that you have to go gung-ho. You don't have to go like fully into what you did before that found you success. If that was the case, I would have just kept doing 90-hour fasts again, because that's what I knew really worked for me. But like I showed you in the month of June, for this month of June, if I can find it, here we go. For the month of June, right? You'll see these weren't 90-hour fasts. In fact, if you look at these gray, you see how these are gray. It doesn't mean that, like, these grays mean that I just didn't hit the number of hours that I initially intended to, which I think a lot of these were either 65s or 90s. But you'll see a 46-hour fast here, a 62-hour fast, a 47, and then here a 44, a 49, right? You'll see that these are not the numbers that I'm typically doing. Now, I think a big reason is because I have found it difficult lately to complete 65-hour fasts or 90-hour fasts. I found it extremely hard recently to hit 90-hour fasts. So what I'm doing now is I told myself, okay, Jerome, well, you know what happens when you eat back-to-back days. Like, you don't even hit that timer anymore. And then you'll eat whatever you want. Like, I mean, to the point where, like, what I mean is, like, I mean, I eat whatever I want now during my refeeds, but when I don't even look at the timer, when I'm not even holding myself accountable there, then I don't even eat the proper foods. I don't start with like a big salad. Instead, I'm just eating the shit foods right away, all the processed stuff, and then vegetables and whatever. I don't even think about it. And like that's such a horrible start. So now I told myself, okay, well, if you're not able to do the 65s or the 90s right now consistently, like, I know personally I can do a 42-hour fast and not gain weight and maybe lose a little bit of weight. And that is my bare minimum, right? I can't do less than 42 because I know if I do, I'll gain weight. Or if I at least eat back-to-back days, I know I'll gain weight. I just, because I know I can't control how much I eat. I tend to eat in very big quantities. So I said, okay, we'll just do 42-hour fast minimum. Like, give yourself the goals of 65 and 90s so you at least strive for them. But what I've noticed though is, again, like, while I struggled in the prior months, that this month I have been very consistent, only eating back-to-back days one day out of this entire month. Every other time has been at least a 42-hour fast. And as I have been doing this again regularly, as it's become routine again, as I've been uploading stuff to YouTube, as I've been making these videos, I've noticed that these fasts, like, I'm currently in a 60-hour or whatever, like, it's feeling normal again. It's feeling routine again. It's feeling automatic again. I'm hoping that now I can, like, keep going, that, like, I can get back to my goals, which, like, I am slowly but surely. But I also told myself that, like, I'm in no rush. Like, all my clothes still fit well. I still feel like I look really good in the clothes that I wear. Like, yeah, I could afford to lose 6, 7, 8 pounds. So if I didn't share, like right now, I currently sit somewhere between 147 to 149 pounds. Where do I want to be ideally? I want to sit somewhere between 135 to 138, I think. I think that's where I want to be. So I'm maybe close to 10 pounds more than where I want to be. I think at 140, I would be happy ideally, and then I could gauge if I need to lose more or do whatever. But one thing's for sure, I cannot eat back-to-back days. For me, that's a trigger. Like, that is as big of a trigger as cutting back like calories, cutting back macros. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't cut back on your calories or your macros. I'm just saying that for me to do those things, it's a trigger. Like that will trigger me to overeat, to not hit the timer, to not be accountable. And like, those are the things that I don't want to do. I want to put myself in a place where I can stay consistent, where I can share what I'm doing and like feel good about myself every day. That let me point that out too. If I eat back-to-back days, I feel like shit. Like, I'll just share that because I know I eat a lot. Usually when I refeed the next day, I feel a bit bloated. Being in front of the camera isn't the thing I want to do after eating 6,000 calories. I mean, I've done it, but like, the last thing I really want to do is like stand in front of the camera after eating 6,000 calories and be like, hey, how's it going, guys? Let's fast. Like, that's not what I want. But when I do these 42-hour fasts, usually the next day I feel a little bloated or whatever, but it's like after 12 hours or 16 hours or so of fasting, I'm already starting to feel good. Like, I know that like I'm going to get through this day. And then the next day I'll know that I have offset gaining weight because I fasted throughout the next day. I do see, super chats here, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to go through that in a second. I just want to make sure I get through the rest of my notes here. So I think hopefully that's shared like enough to put you back into that mind state of finding your routine, right? The rest of the notes that I hit here is, yes, accountability, hitting that timer, getting back into that routine. Another note I have here is that knowing that it can be done. Believe in yourself that it can be done. You did it before. You can do it again. If you've never even done it before, know that you are a lot more, you're stronger, not only physically, but mentally than you really think. The mental part, the mentality of a lot of this is so important. I'm going to share this really quick. And I don't know if this person that I coach is on stream or not. I haven't looked, but I'm just going to share this because prior to this stream, I was coaching a client, and that client was telling me like, I can do an X number fast. It's not hard. I can do it, but I just want to eat. And like, I know how that goes because I know mentally and physically, I've done 65-hour fasts. I've done 90-hour fasts. I've done 168-hour fasts. I fasted for 11 days, right? I've done it. But sometimes your mind just wants to like, let's put it frankly, your mind says, fuck you. I want to eat. I'm going to eat. I want to eat. Give me food. Oops. And there's a can of pop. A little physical there. Anyway, I think a lot of that is getting over that hurdle, right? Is okay. Let me put it this way. If it's been a while since you've done X number of fasts, whether it's a 16-hour or a 23, or even doing just like a 36, right? Getting through that day. Give yourself a day and a time to do it. Maybe a time where you know that it would be easier to accomplish that fast during that particular day or time, and set your mind right to do it. I can only speak from personal experience that once I start completing these fasts and like getting over that hump, that it does feel a lot more routine for me. Like I haven't done a 90 in a while, but I know that if I try to get that 90 in there, I think at least what's going to happen is now the next couple of fasts, a 42 won't seem so bad. A 65 won't seem so bad. In fact, now that I've been doing this more consistently again, I have had like, I don't get hungry the day after a refeed like I was these last couple months. Lately, I've been pretty good. The next day after like refeeding, I don't want to eat. I'm like, I'm too full. I don't want to eat. I don't want to, I can go another day. So like that ensures a 42-hour fast for me. That ensures that I will not gain weight because again, 42 hours is usually what it takes me to eat again and not have to gain weight. Mentality. I think fasting is hard, but if you've done it before and you're having difficulties doing it again, I think a lot of it is in our heads. A lot of it is just getting past that hump. A lot of it is knowing that the food is always going to be there. A lot of it is knowing that the hunger comes in waves, that the hunger is going to pass. A lot of it is also, and I think this might ring true for a lot of people, a lot of it is knowing that you're not alone. You're not alone. You're talking to someone who's about to approach 22 months of consistently fasting. Like, you're not the only person who's struggling through it, right? So I just want you to keep those things in mind. I want you to keep those things in mind. Let me double check my notes here. Okay, so let me go through the super chats. Quiet Flower, how's it going? Welcome with a $5.55 super chat. Thank you for sharing the highs and lows of your journey. You're very welcome, Quiet Flower. The lows, the downs, it's embarrassing for me. It is. I tried to like stave it off. I tried to not even talk about it because I don't want to feel like I'm letting people down. But at the same time, I think a big part of me was telling myself, I'm in control. I got it. Like you corrected yourself by doing a 100+ hour fast. So you're fine. But in reality, no, like that's me eating back-to-back days. I know is detrimental for me. So I'm glad I can share it now. I mean, I've shared my downs, my lows throughout, the months or whatever. But I think this is the first time I've really, really shown you or shown all of you what's been going on with me these past couple months. And then Shiloh with a $15 super chat. Shiloh, thank you so much. Thank you for the generous donation. Quiet Flower also, thank you for the generous donation. Thank you guys for the support. Shiloh has been so supportive lately. I think every stream. Shiloh is also one of my patrons on Patreon. So Shiloh, thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Okay, guys, I think that's really all I have in terms of my notes. So I'm gonna like scroll back up here and just say hi. But like this is also a time right now. If you want to ask questions, ask questions. Leave the questions here. I will try to go. It's 45 minutes. Trying to think of I have to go to my mom's today. So I'm going to do that after this. So I'm going to take some time to do some Q&A. If you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to put them in chat. I will go through them. Snake Diet, Fat Man. I love fasting. I love fasting too. I mean, like, I don't love it like it's the best thing in the world, but I love doing it because it's what's made me lose all this weight. I love doing it because it's what helps me maintain keeping the weight off and staying healthy. Snake Diet Fat Man, welcome to the stream. It's nice to see you. Thank you. Shai Sarai is in here as well. Hi, Jerome. Hi, Shai. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Sunny Day. Am I saying that right? Sunny Day. Hello, everyone. Hi, Sunny. How's it going? Welcome. Blaze 760. Ola, Blaze, how's it going? Naima, hey everyone, how's it going, Naima? Cam Kib, good afternoon. Lewis, hey, Lewis, is it Lewis or Louise? Lewis, me after being at home for a month with my Filipino grandma, you're getting fat. Also her, come eat. I made ulam. I'll just share this with you guys right now. So I think a good number of people, it's funny because the people who, like, I'm Filipino, and the people who, other Filipino people who come in here will either call me kuya, which is just like a kind of an endearing term for like bigger brother, older cousin or whatever. At least I think I have that right. I don't speak Tagalog. I only understand it, or understand most of it. But I one of the issues, so like Lewis, you're right. Being a Filipino person, like, family is not family is very vain. I'll put it that way. They'll be quick to tell you that you've gained weight or you're looking fat, or I have family that will tell me I'm too dark, I'm in the sun too much, or whatever. Like, it's vanity is a very, and it's messed with my head. It really has. Like, I don't want to say that's what really gave me my issues with eating, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't play a factor into like the habits and stuff that I have. But yeah. And like, it's funny because they'll say that and then they'll be like, did you eat yet? You should eat. Did you eat? Take this food home with you. You should eat. John on Facebook. Hi, John. How's it going? Welcome. Thank you for this. I needed it. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Again, Shiloh is here. Hey, everyone. Hi, Jerome. Hi, Shiloh. Andrea. Hey, Jerome. This Saturday chat is so great. It gets me ready for the week ahead. I'm glad, Andrea. I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. When I see that you're doing a chat, I stop everything so I can listen. Thank you for taking the time. Keep spreading your knowledge to help people. I'm trying. Thank you so much. Ingrid, hello. I don't think I've seen you in a minute. Hi, Ingrid. Welcome. So nice to see you. It's nice to see you too. Welcome. Shallow says, I think we all have to be mindful of when we reach goal. What is the plan to maintain? Right. And that's something that, like, I guess, I mean, I need to get back to like goal weight, which is maybe 8-9 pounds or whatever it is. But even when I hit goal weight before, right? Like, it never ends. This is a never ending journey. Actually, the person that, like, I was coaching, I was saying that when I was making YouTubes a lot more regularly, the one thing that I kept telling myself as I was making videos was like, I just keep saying the same shit over and over and over. Why would people want to listen to the same shit over and over and over? But now that I haven't been posting as regularly, I understand the importance of saying these things over and over and over. It is like reaffirming that you can do this, that these are like reminders of like getting through your day. I mean, and this isn't just like with fasting and weight loss. This is just with who you are, right? Like, I mean, you might know that you're a good person and you're kind and you're courteous, but sometimes, like, reaffirming that, like, you're stronger than that you mentally have the ability to fast X amount of hours. I think sometimes giving yourself that reminder or knowing that, like, you're not the only person, I think is very reaffirming, which I understand, like, being away, like, I'm sure has affected a lot of people. And also knowing that I've helped a lot of people and just like completely kind of like, not like dropping off the face of the earth, but like, because, obviously I have priorities too, like, with this job and paying bills and fulfilling like all of that, like it, I can only do so much, but sometimes, right, like just that reminder that, like, hey, like, I'm here, we're here for you. We all are facing challenges. I think it's good a lot, or it's very good for the mentality, for like the mindset, for knowing that you can get through this day. And like even earlier with Andrea talking about, like, just watching and just listening, I think is very helpful. And I'm glad I can do that for people. Something I thought I'd never be able to say, to know that I have, an impact on people Like, again, that's priceless for me. Tamika Powell. Hi, Tamika. How's it going? Hello from California. I love your content. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I love your transparency and honesty. Thank you, Snake Diet Fat Man. Thank you. Thank you. I hate the fact that you can fast consistently for months and then a couple days of eating off. So it's so hard to get back on it. It is. And I mean, I guess that's exactly what we talked about today. So like, hopefully again, the accountability is helpful. Hopefully having content to watch or even sharing like how you're feeling like in chat is helpful as well. But like, I know how it is. Ted, how's it going, Ted? Welcome. So true. Repeating mistakes gets old very fast. It does. And it's, the shitty thing about making mistakes or like fucking up, right, is the fact that you're doing it. You consciously know you shouldn't be eating. You consciously know that you should go for a walk. You consciously know that you should have fasted for like another whatever, right? Like, you consciously know that, but you do it anyway. Why? Escape. Feels good. Worry about it tomorrow. I think a lot of it is really in our heads. But yeah, it gets very old because at one point, like, even after like I eat back-to-back days and then I'm on the couch, I'm like, why did I do that? Like, I know I'm going to feel like shit tomorrow morning. Now I got to like, get on this Zoom call and talk to people and everyone's going to think I look like I'm 800 pounds. And like, obviously I'm over exaggerating, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you just feel shitty about yourself. Andrea says, Jerome, your honesty is so refreshing. Thank you. In the past, whenever I messed up on my diet and overeat, I would get discouraged. We are human, like you say. Don't repeat our mistakes. Absolutely. You know what? I'll just share this too, is I think a lot of us, especially when it comes to overeating and what we do, I think a lot of us don't come to terms with it. I think a lot of us like sweep it under the rug. Like, yeah, we'll joke about it later. Like, oh, I ate so much, I gained whatever. And like, we lightly joke about it, but I think a lot of us don't really face that truth. A lot of us don't sit there and be like, yeah, that was shitty. Now I feel like this. Now I don't know if I'm ever going to get back to it. And I think for me, it's really cathartic to even talk about it, because I say it, I feel it, and then I think it motivates me to be like, you got this, Jerome. Like, you're good. Hi, June. Welcome. You were so inspiring and genuine. Thank you. Thank you, June. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome to the stream. Hello. Emong94. Hey, I've been having some issues with being addicted to the number on the scale. I know you've had the same issue. Any advice on getting past this? This one's a tough one. Being addicted to the number on the scale. I have one or two things. So like, it's hard for me to share this because I have an issue with the scale too. I always want to see it at a certain number. And when it's not at that number, I think that I've failed. So one, I'll tell you that like, no, you're not a failure, right? Especially if you know you've been fasting for a certain amount of time, that you put yourself in that caloric deficit, that you know that you've probably lost fat, that you're probably just retaining water. Know that if you are doing the number of hours of fasting that you need to do to lose weight or maintain weight, don't worry so much about the scale. Easier said than done. But I will say, if the scale is being so much of a detriment that you are putting yourself in a situation where you're overeating or you're binging or whatever, because I've been there. I'll step on that scale. I'll be like, fuck this. I don't want that. No, like, why am I doing this? This is all for nothing. This is worthless. Then I'll go binge, or I'll put myself in those bad habits. If it's getting to that point where that's happening over and over and over, put the scale away, put it away. What you need to do next, which is something that I did, is I'll take smaller clothes that don't fit me as well, or clothes that I bought that are smaller that I know I want to eventually fit in, and use that as a measuring stick instead. Use that to really see the progress? Do I look better in this shirt? Does this shirt button at this, button now? Will my pants button? What about the notch on my belt? What about using a measuring tape? There are other ways to progress your progress. To progress your progress. But you know what I mean? I can't say, like, I would be a hypocrite if I said, yeah, it's easy, that's all you got to do. But it's not, because I weigh on the scale every single day. I can't help it. I'm obsessed with it too. I don't let the number bother me as much as it used to, but it still bothers me. Eventually, for me, what I did is I log the number every day. I log it every single day because and a lot of times I take a lot of pictures of myself so then I can like kind of see what I look like at that weight. And then I kind of like refer back to it and be like, yeah, like this is just, a fluctuation of this and that. And it's not like a foolproof answer. It's not the number one answer, but I just hope it's helpful, at least a little bit, hopefully. Savage Dad. Hi, Savage Dad. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for inspiring me to lose the weight. I'm down 70 pounds. Congratulations on the weight loss. I'm glad to hear it. I love that your avatar is also a donut. I'm refeeding tonight, and I'm looking very forward to my refeed. Savage Dad, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Naima says we have all at some point felt that way. Your perseverance is admirable. Naima, thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words. Sunny says, unfortunately, food addiction is not taken as seriously or seen as valid as an alcohol or drug addiction. And like, I agree. And I'm not, again, like, I don't say these things to say that food addiction is worse, like, than drugs or alcohol, or one is worse or better than the other. Like, this isn't a contest to compare what's worse. It's not. But like Sunny says, at least in my personal, like, anecdotal experience, when I try to like talk about these things or tell people that I've been in therapy for my eating issues, it's not always taken so like, it's I guess the weight, it's not weighted as much as if I were to tell someone, like, if I had issues with alcohol or drugs. And again, like, I'm not saying this to make it a contest. I just, sometimes when I have had to try to explain to people why I haven't texted them back, why haven't I called them back, why I haven't seen them, why I missed a birthday party, why I missed a wedding, why I missed somebody's like birth, right? Like not being there when they had their baby. To try to explain to someone like, yeah, I didn't go because I ate a lot and I felt shitty about myself and like I didn't want to be seen. Like, I guess I could just tell people I was depressed, but like I sometimes I just want to try to be as honest as I can be. And like saying that to someone to explain why I haven't seen them or haven't hung out with them or whatever, like sometimes it falls on deaf ears, right? Like sometimes they'll look at me like, whatever, like you're just saying that because you have nothing else to say. Like that's a shitty excuse. And people can think whatever they want to think, but the places that I have been when I feel that way are places that I feel awful in. Like the things I think about when I put myself in that situation, like there's a reason that I went to therapy. There's a reason that it has been recommended that I go on antidepressants or that I've been on antidepressants. Like there's a reason for that, because the thoughts that come into my head, the actions that I have performed to like be in that state, like these are very like dark depths that like I haven't even really like shared as, I mean, like I have shared about it. I have shared about like my worth, right? My self-worth being here on this earth. Like I've questioned those things because it's like, what's the point if this is all that it is? If this is all that I keep putting myself through, if I'm causing misery for other people, then why even be here? Like those are the things that I've thought about. And those are serious things. when I think about it today, when I think about the way I feel, that all relates back to food and how I use food as a way to escape. But then I face the consequences of eating like that, gaining weight, feeling shitty, putting myself in like a depressive state. Other people might not understand that. People who don't have those issues, they don't understand that. They'll never understand that. And that's okay. It's okay because I can't explain it any other way except like, here, sit and listen to me explain to you. But most people don't have time for that. And that's okay. Like I can't, I no longer, like, yeah, I feel bad about it, but what can I do except be honest and try to like explain it as best as I can? And if like, one thing I've learned, especially after getting older and being 40, is after a while, it's like, if you don't want to listen to what I have to say, if we can't have a conversation about it, or you feel like, what, I got nothing else for you. Like I'm ready to move on then. So I know I'm kind of going on a tangent there. So let me scroll down here. Shai says, same Jerome, 16-ish hours and I feel more committed to the fast. Exactly. Sometimes just getting over that hump is very, very helpful. Veronica, hello. Hi, Veronica. Welcome. Water Dragon 2012. Hi, Water Dragon. Welcome. I tried the rolling 48s, but couldn't handle it. I'm better at stuffing my face with cucumbers, carrots, and tomatoes, low calorie foods. And like, yeah, absolutely. If that works, like, more power to you, more power to you. Actually, I'm just going to add on to that. So let me share this again. Right? A lot of you know me for rolling 65s and rolling 90-hour fasts. You don't see a lot of that here. This is June 2021. You don't see that here. You'll see a 46 and a 62 and a 47. You know, you'll see smatterings of bigger fasts and a bunch of smaller fasts. One thing that maybe I need to start pushing out more too is like, hey, like 48-hour fasts, extended fasts, they're very long, especially if you don't eat the way I do. You might get hungry a lot sooner than I do. But think of the different methods, right? Like this 90-hour fast, I didn't read that from a book. Nobody told me to do a 90-hour fast. I picked that number because it worked for me. I eat 6,000 calories because it worked for me. Nobody told me to eat 6,000 calories. Nobody told me to eat the way I do. Like, that is me finding balance, right? Nobody told me to exercise a certain way or whatever. You'll see here, like, those 90s eventually turned into 65s. Nobody gave me that number. I made that number up because it worked for me. Then 42s. And now you'll see a mix of this because now I'm just trying to get back. So like, for anyone that, like, I'm glad that you found something that works. Low calorie foods, that's great. But just to add on, if 48s are tough, if doing rolling 48s are tough, or you feel miserable or you can't do it, there's also the option of doing a 48 and then doing a bunch of 16s or 23s, like do OMADs, do 23s for a week, and then throw another 48 in there. Like, mix it up. There's nothing wrong with doing that, especially if you're better at controlling your food intake, if you're good at eating lower cal foods, right? Or more nutrient dense foods, that's wonderful. If you're better at exercising, if you lift a lot more, or you do a lot more like physical activity cardio wise, that's great. It's all about balancing those levers. I've talked about this before. There are different levers for this. There's the fasting lever, finding what works for you during your fast. There's the diet lever when it comes to eating. Then there's the exercise lever. Like, you need to find the balance of all three to make sure that you're either putting yourself at a caloric deficit to lose weight, or maintaining whatever deficit or maintaining whatever caloric intake you're at so that you don't gain weight. This is why I never push anyone to do anything specific. This is why I only share what I know, and just trying to find the routine, the habits, the good habits of doing what you need to do. You want the good days to outweigh the bad days. You want the good days to outweigh the bad, the highs to outweigh the low. Yeah, we're going to have shitty days. We're going to have bad days, but it doesn't mean that we can't have more good days than bad. Did I drive that point across? I think I did. Another super chat from Ken. I don't know what SEK is, but that $50 or 50 SEK super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you for the generous donation. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Can Arel, thank you so much. You didn't even put anything in the chat. You could have said something. Can, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support as always. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me scroll back up here. Oh God, there's a lot more chat now. Where am I at? Okay. Naima says, hey, Jerome, how was your eating when you were initially losing weight? Have you ever restricted carbs? I've restricted carbs in the past. Before I started extended fasting, I used to do like 16-8 or 24 or OMAD. And then I was also restricting carbs. I think I was keeping myself at under 25 a day. And it worked. It worked to an extent, but I couldn't maintain it. Not like I've maintained this almost 22 months now. Back then, when I was doing 16 or whatever, I could only do it for so long before I would get sick of it, because eventually I wanted to eat something sweet, or I wanted like a bagel, right? I wanted like a bag of chips, and I knew that 25 wasn't going to be enough. Like, yeah, those are not the best foods to eat, but for me, that's what kind of kept me sane. It kept my sanity. If you are good at the diet part, if you're, again, like the levers of diet, exercise, and fasting, if you're really good at controlling your eating, at controlling your restricting your carbs, like that's great. Then you might not have to fast as long. You might not have to exercise as much, but you'll see that my levers are very different. I should make a diagram of this, because everyone has different levers. And I keep doing this like motion, which is like weird, but like, if you were to look, if you were to put a diagram next to me, to my face, fasting would be very high, eating would be very low, because I'm not very good at controlling my eating, but I'm very good at fasting, and exercise would be a little better than most. I think I exercise like 5-6 days a week. I walk 4 or 5 miles a day. I work out, or I lift weights like 3 times a week. If so, it hasn't been as much lately. I do a lot more cardio lately, but yeah, I have restricted carbs. It's just not the best for me, because it ends up being a trigger, and it ends up like me not doing what I have to do, which I also have to add on here. You see a lot of people on YouTube. You see a lot of people talk about, these are the foods you need to eat. This is the way you need to fast. This is how you blah, 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 which is great. Use all of those things as a guide. But in a perfect world, we can't, like, in a perfect world, then all of us would be in the best shape ever. None of us would have these issues. We would be eating, but like that's not reality. It's not reality. Take those things as a guide. But I also eat the way I do, and I fast the way I do, because I want to show people that, like, you don't have to do everything perfect. You don't have to restrict everything. You don't have to exercise, X amount of hours a day. Like, if you can find a balance, like, you can do it and still lose weight. There are a lot of people who have lost weight, and that's great, but like, I can only share my story. And I know, as somebody who's been obese like my entire life, that I have lost, upwards of 100 pounds or whatever by eating pie and eating Taco Bell. And, again, not that you have to do it. I'm just saying, like, there are other ways to figure out how to like lose weight and get healthy and ultimately find a balance in what you're doing. Bam. Hi, Bam. How's it going? I think I have to take your approach. As soon as I eat a second day, shit gets out of hand and I'm eating way too much back to back. Yeah, that's me to a T. I can't do back to back days. I keep thinking maybe one day I'll be able to do it, but I have yet to like really eat back to back days and be like, yeah, I feel good. I could do this every day. I can't. It's just very hard for me. Steffi Joe, Bam, welcome to the stream, by the way. Steffi Joe, hi. I know you're not at goal. You said you're 147 to 149. I can't see your body or your stomach, but your face looks perfect. Thank you, Steffi Joe. As we age drop to a low weight, we can make some look like Skeletor. So like, and like Steffi Joe, I don't know if you're new here or not, but like I'm just gonna share my Instagram with you guys. If you guys don't know my Instagram, you can find me at Finally Fasting. I post here pretty often. Actually, I posted this yesterday. But like yeah, like this is me right now, somewhere between 147 to 149. And I only put this is from Target. I bought this shirt at Target at the children's section. Like I only put this picture here because like this is a boy wearing it. I sometimes people forget that like I wear boys' clothes. I wear children's clothes because I'm 5'3". I'm short, right? And so like the only clothes that properly fit me are children's clothes for the most part. But yeah, so like if you look here, this is me recently. This is between 147 and 149. Like I know it doesn't show here, but like some of these, like let's be real, some of these are angled shots. Like they're like some of it is me kind of like holding my stomach in a little more. I just know that I have a little more to lose if I wanted to. That's it. Again, like these shots are more recently, right? Like where I'm at in the like 147, like the high 140s or whatever. If you want to see like where I was at, like in the 120s, 130, like here, this was probably 130 or so. Yeah, 130 here for sure. Also, for people who don't know how big I was before, just an FYI, like you can see it there. I know the one, and I don't think I have a shot of it here, but like this here is where I kind of felt like I was way too skinny. I have other photos that kind of like show how much skinnier I was then, but like I know today I fill in my shirts a lot better now than I did when I was like 135 or whatever. But you do have a point. You do have a point though, Steffi. Like I know what you mean. And that's why now I'm trying to find a balance in between being, I don't want to be 125. I don't want to be where I'm at now in the high 140s, but I'm thinking like 135 would be a happy medium. I think. Veronica says, how do you not gain weight back on a refeed? Okay, so first of all, it depends on what you're refeeding with. Know that if you are refeeding heavy carbs like I do, you're going to bloat up. Like if you're eating a lot more carbs, you're going to hold a lot more water than if you were just eating keto, right? Or low carb. If you've watched my videos on YouTube, most people know that I will gain 4 to 6 pounds after a refeed easily. And then I'll fast for 2 or 3 days and I'll end up losing weight or I'll end up maintaining weight. So if I know that if I didn't eat as carb heavy, I probably wouldn't gain a ton of weight. I wouldn't hold as much water, but also remember you're holding water. It also depends on what you eat. So like, yeah, like how do you not gain weight on refeeds? Like if I didn't eat half of a pie every refeed, if I didn't eat like a ton of like tortilla chips, I'm sure that I wouldn't gain as much weight and I'm sure that I wouldn't have to fast as long. But I also know that not eating the things that I like eating would put me in a place where I would end up getting like, it would be a trigger for me to overeat. This is kind of a weighted question because there's a lot of ways of, it's kind of like, well, what are you refeeding with? How long are you fasting for? If you need more context, like please watch any episodes of like Breakfast where I show myself eating, watch those episodes and it might give you a better idea of like how I was able to do a lot of this. Angela Murray. Hi, Angela. How's it going? Oh my God. A lot of it is dumping my boyfriend. Yeah, like stress comes in a lot of ways. Figuring or dealing with like emotional weight or things I'm the same way as like eating. But Angela, hi, welcome to the stream. If I didn't say hi, I don't know if I did. Look at Matthew McConaughey. When he drops too much, his face suffers. It really ages him. Yes, he's older, but not as old as he looks. I know Matthew McConaughey. I don't know how old he is, but I mean, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Totally. Water Dragon says losing weight is such a slow process. Having the patience is the hardest part, it seems. It does. And I'll just put this here right now. And I've said this many times. People can tell me that they've done 168-hour fasts, 300-hour fasts, and like, it's all very impressive that you've lost X amount of pounds after doing this fast. But to me, I think what's more impressive is somebody that's told me that they have been fasting consistently and keeping the weight off for a year or 2 years. Like, I'm coming up to 2 years of keeping this weight off and fasting consistently. And I honestly think that's way more impressive than doing my 11-day fast where I lost like 27 or 28 pounds. Because when I initially did that 11-day fast, I just gained all the weight back and then some. And then it took a year or two to like finally figure out how to like do this consistently. So yeah, it might be a slow process. It could be a faster process. It just depends on your levers, weight of diet, fasting, exercise. But like, yeah, I think at the end of the day, we have to remember that like, this is a lifelong journey. This is something that even if you hit goal weight, you're going to have to like figure out how to maintain it, how to figure out how to stay healthy, how to stay happy. So, just Jeff, am I saying that right? Hi, Jerome. Kumusta? I'm good. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. I don't know if I've seen you before. NC Triad. What happened to Fasting Fat Man? Has he gained all the weight back? I don't know, but I know of him. I have no idea. I haven't really kept up with a lot of others. So NC Triad, Bluegrass Events, welcome to the stream. Shiloh says, thank you for being on here. Your video started my fasting journey in earnest, and it makes a big difference to see your videos and posts. I appreciate that, Shiloh. It also helps me. It reminds me that I need to keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you for that. NC says, I fasted 2019 and lost 55 pounds. Congrats. Now I cannot fast for nothing. Gained it back plus some. I've been there before. I think a lot of us have been there, but like, for you to even like share this and put it out there, I think is a good step. I think it puts the issues at face value, right? It puts it, maybe not at face value, but it puts it to the front. It puts it to the front of like, it puts it in reality. It gives reality, it gives weight to the situation that like you're facing that fact, and you know that this is an issue, and you know that like, I gotta do something. For you to even be here means that like you care enough to be like, shit, he's talking about weight loss. He's talking about fasting. He's talking about trying to better your life. Why not be here and at least see if it lights a fire under my ass to do something. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing that. I found your video Monday and just broke an 82-hour fast. Congratulations. I lost 3.8 pounds. That's great. That's great, Steffi Joe. Hopefully you're able to continue. Hopefully I'll see you here more. I'm glad that you found me. I'm glad that you found some success doing this. Angela says, it's very true, Jerome. I met an Uber driver who told me he didn't want to go to his family cookout because they were going to say he's too skinny. And yeah, and like, that's the thing too. It goes both ways. It does go both ways. When I hit 120 something, maybe even 130 something, my mom had said something to me and I took offense to it. My mom, my entire life has always told me I'm overweight or whatever. And like, I know my mom loves me, but it's just, it never gets any easier, right? Like you hear it and it's like, oh, okay, I get it, Mom. I get it. I got to lose weight. And then I remember at one point, my mom told me, she's like, you're looking a little too, and like, she didn't say it like that. I don't even want to get into like how she said it, but I was just like, I took offense to it. I was very hurt by it. It's like, oh, you're going to talk shit to me when I'm like overweight. Now you're going to talk shit to me but like, given a little time and going through some of my photos, I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, maybe I was a little, but it was also just, I was so used to doing what I was doing. And like, I had never been in that situation, right? I've never been that skinny. I've never told anyone I was 125 pounds. I can't even remember the last time I was 125 pounds. What was I, 8, 9 years old? I have no idea. Younger than that. So yeah, it does go both ways. Okay. Rainy Jazz. Hi, Rainy Jazz. Virtual hug. Thank you so much. Virtual hug back. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Okay. It is a mind game. That's why I have to listen to your channel to get motivation. I'm glad that you're able to come here and listen, and I'm glad that it inspires. Thank you so much. Thank you. John Boston, welcome. I had pizza last night, and soon after having it, I was regretting it. That messes me up for a few days. Hopefully you're back in some fasting regimen now. I mean, like, I know pizza's not the best food to eat, but like, you know, on occasion, I mean, I'm refeeding today and I'm probably going to eat pretty bad today. I'm not going to lie, but sometimes to just get back on track, it's just getting back on that fasting wagon. Right. And like figuring out where you need to be. Tamara Brown. Hello. John, also welcome. If I didn't say welcome. Lynn, your haircut looks sharp. Thank you. I'm actually doing something different. I'm trying to, I don't really want to, I know this is going to sound weird, but I'm actually trying to grow a mullet. I don't know. I want to do something different. I haven't done, and like in like these classes, I wish I could wear them, but like, it's just too reflective. But like with that and I'm trying to go for a different look. Anyway, I don't know why I share that, just because I'm talking to you guys. Angela says, I bought a pair of jeans 3 sizes smaller and I cannot get one of my thighs. Angela, you will have to tell me when you can get one of your thighs in them. Like, let's see that progress. Let's hear about that progress. I'm looking forward to the time you tell me that it does fit. Brian is in here. Hey, Jerome, late to the party. Brian, no worries, man. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you, Brian. Welcome. Ben says, I've tried fasting, but I binge eat when I refeed and it backfires. That is a big thing for a lot of people. If you are still considering fasting, again, I'm not telling you that you should, but if you're considering it, maybe try shorter fast, right? Try a shorter fast. See how you feel. I think no matter what, I'm just going to point this out. I think no matter what, I think fasting is just, I think it's good for everyone. I would say 99.9% of the time. Maybe it depends on like your, like the level of health you're in or whatever. But like, even I think a 16-hour fast still has its benefits, right? You're not eating every couple hours. You're not like throwing insulin into your body. You're not having your pancreas work overtime because you're eating all the time. But I think there is a benefit in giving your body a rest from food or drink or whatever, you know, like anything caloric. I think sometimes for me, I feel good like when my body is resetting. But yeah, you're right though, Ben. Like it definitely isn't for everyone. And especially if you end up binging and you're overeating, like you got to figure out those levers: fasting, eating, diet, and exercise. And then there's a mental part too. But the mental part is a whole other, like the mental part of just losing weight and staying happy and healthy in general is just, that's the real issue there. It's such a big part of finding success in this. You're right, Shai. I mean, I can see that too. I can definitely see that. Quietist. Hi, Quietist. Welcome to the stream. I feel like starting and sticking to a fast involves evaluating one's goals. I notice that most of the food I lust after when not eating doesn't even taste good when I do have it. You're preaching to the choir. It's more worth it to stay on course fasting than to break it over a minor craving. You're absolutely right. I think a lot of us feel similarly. How many of you have gone on a long fast? During that entire fast, you were craving a certain food. And then when it comes time to refeed, you don't even want that anymore. Or you do eat it and you're like, that wasn't even worth it. I think it's the mind. I really think so. Because once I get back on a fast again, I'm just like, why did I do that? I didn't even want to eat that. Then you go back on your fast and you're like, I want to eat that again. That's the best food ever. And I think a lot of it is in our mind. I really do. Okay, Mario. Hi, Mario. I'm gonna kind of like, we're an hour and a half here, and I actually need to get moving. So, Mario Granados, am I saying that right? Do you break your eating routine for special occasions like holidays, birthdays, etc.? So, like, I feel like I say this every week. Yes, I do. I do break my fasting routine for special occasions. But what I do is I try to plan those ahead so I can properly schedule my fasts. So if I know there's like a special party coming up, or especially now that, or here in the States, at least, that COVID is, we'll say, dying down, or at least getting better, right? Now that things are opening up more, there is going to be more social time to do things. And now I am trying to like schedule things to make sure I can eat on this day, but now I need to fast on these days instead. So that's what I do. It doesn't mean that you have to do it that way, but also know that if you do end up eating back-to-back days, or eating more or longer than you wanted to because of it's okay. Like, these special occasions, they don't happen every day. And if they do, well, then you're much more of a socialite than I am. But that's a different story. So that's kind of how I work those things out for me. Andrea, Jerome, what you were saying is real. My daughter graduated from nursing school, but what I was thinking about was how I looked at my dress, and was my weight gain noticeable? I can relate. Yeah. Okay, guys, there's like I'm so far away, I think, now from chat. Where am I at now? I've lost my spot. Okay. Do you use an app to log your fasts? I do. Namaskar X. Am I saying that? I use the Zero app. So just, I don't endorse it. They don't endorse me. I just use it because, like, I like the aesthetics of it. I actually think it could be better. It makes me wish I could start my own fasting app, because in my own fasting app, I would have like a community in there, kind of like the Life app. I just don't like the UI of the Life app. I wish they could mix, but there's things about both that I wish I could fix. Like, there's things that I feel like they both need in there. Anyway, Brian says the hard part about it is food is readily accessible. Drugs are harder to get to. That's also very true, Brian. That's also very true. Have you watched Stephanie Buttermore? I think I have a while ago. I think I watched that one video that got really popular. I can't remember what she called it. She has a similar condition. She said since she was a kid, she could never get full. Yeah. But yeah, that's me. I have trouble getting full. I really do. Eating 10,000 calories of crap food it's so easy. It's definitely so easy. SEK is Swedish money. Thank you, Can. Thank you so much again for the support. Have you done any blood work? No, but I need to. I have insurance now. I need to go. I've only gone to the dentist. I need to set up an appointment with my doctor. But when I do, I will share that. I will go over that, because I haven't been to a doctor in 4 years. I've been a freelance worker for since the last time I quit a corporate job was in May of 2017. So it's been past 4 years now. But now I have benefits again. And that was the last time I've actually had real blood work done. But for people who don't know, I am a diabetic. I do have high blood pressure, but I do have glucose meters that actually were donated by all of you for your generous gifts. And like, my blood sugar is under control. My fasting blood sugar, when I test my blood sugar, is like in the high 60s, low 70s. After being diabetic for over 18 years, I'm 40 years old. I was diagnosed at 22. It doesn't even look like I have diabetes, right? I mean, I know I'm diabetic. I'm going to be diabetic forever, or at least the tendency to have blood sugars come back and whatever. But my blood pressure and my blood sugar are normal, which is great. But yes, I need to get the other blood work done. I do. Peanut butter, 100 calories a spoonful. I used to eat jars of peanut butter easily. Okay, guys, I kind of need to scroll, like, I'm going to get through like the rest of this for people who I haven't said hi to. So I'm just going to do this real quick. Samuel, how's it going? Can 45-hour fast work for me? Because I weigh around 99 kilos. I don't know what 99 kilos is, but just an FYI, I'm 5'3". I used to weigh 220 pounds. Sorry, I can't do the conversions for you right now, but I was doing 65-hour fasts even at 130 pounds. Actually, when I hit 124 pounds, I did a 100 hour plus fast. So they could work, but it also depends on what you're eating, and it depends on your exercise. If you're talking about will it work to lose weight, it can. It just depends on what you're eating and your exercise. I think a lot of it comes down to like where your balance is when it comes to those three. But if you have issues, or if you're wondering, please take a look at some of my past videos, and they can be helpful when it comes to that. Samuel, welcome to the stream. Gilly the Kid, hi Gilly, how's it going? I'm trying to lose mostly all my body fat. I know people will end up saying I'm too skinny, but I want abs. I want abs too, until I lost all this weight and I realized that I have a lot of loose skin, and I don't know if I'm really ever going to get those abs. Okay, let me see here. Priscilla, hi Priscilla, how's it going? Hi Jay. I tried fasting 4 years and failed to lose. Once I found you, I discovered rolling fasts and realized that breaking a fast early isn't a failure, that I could continue after. I am now 24 pounds lost. Thanks. You're very welcome, Priscilla. Priscilla, welcome to the stream. I don't think I've ever seen you post before, but welcome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you. For the kind words. I'm glad you found success. That's the one thing I love too, right? Is like, I love that I'm able to share my story. And while I might not be an athlete, I might not have a 6-pack of abs, I might be an older guy. Like, one thing is like, it's never too late to like better your life, health, happiness, like all of that. Right. I think a lot of people, when they hit either their late 20s or 30s and they have kids and they're married, they're just like, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. Or they don't like think of it as seriously as they once did. Like, there's something about being happy and comfortable, but like, I also think it's really important to be healthy and to stay healthy. I really think that's important, not only physically, but mentally. Right. I know we get busy. I'm busy as shit, right? Like I literally, for people who don't know, I probably work 80 hours a week. With everything that I do, I probably put in 80 hours of work. I was up this morning at 6:30, 6-ish. I went to bed close to 3:00. Like I'm always working. And that's a fault of mine. I need to sleep more. That's one of my issues. But what I'm saying though is like, hey, it's never too late to like find a healthier way in your life, in our lives. So, Songbird and Feathers, hi, welcome. Hello, I'm pretty late. You're good. No worries. Greeting from France. Hi, Songbird and Feathers. Thank you for joining. I had a short mullet in the 80s. Yeah, I feel like it's coming back. It's I live in Chicago, and like, I've seen so many people with mullets and just like a mustache, and like, I can't do the mustache. I can't really grow one properly, but I'm like, oh, I'd rock a mullet and see how that looks. But we'll see. B Danielle Broussard, am I saying that right? Hi Jerome, you look great. Thank you so much, B Danielle. I appreciate that. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Okay guys, really quick. So again, one more thing. If you are not following me on Instagram, please feel free to check it out. You can find me on Instagram at Finally Fasting. I post a lot more regularly there. It just has before and afters, and like, I'll share whatever's on my mind. You get to see like where I'm at and how I'm doing, et cetera, et cetera. But I will say the one thing that I have brought back, and one thing that I've been doing again, is I'm back on Patreon. Also, for people who ever signed up for Patreon, and like, if we never got to like touch base and we never got to like do a video chat or whatever, please contact me and I will get that set up for you. I am back to like coaching. I'm back to like accountability posts. If you are not familiar with what accountability posts are, it's just a place where every other day, every 2 days, I talk about where I'm at. I talk about like what I'm doing, what fast I'm at. And I've been doing it every other day, and other people will comment and they'll let me know how they're doing. And I try to share, like, try to comment, try to talk to them. So if you like, again, no obligation to do so, but if you'd like to support, you can go to patreon.com/finally fasting. There are tiers there as well where I do offer coaching, and it's something that I've started to do again. So please feel free. Now that I have found a better balance in my work life, even though I say I like work 80 hours a week, I found some kind of balance or a semblance of balance. But anyway, I really think that's about it. I want to thank everybody for stopping by today. Thank you for spending time with me on your Saturday afternoon. I know that most people are out and about, but for you to come by, for you to share your story, for you to tell me how you're doing, I think is great. Again, let's not wait until Monday. Don't put off what you can do today. Like, that's so cliche. I get it. But I think it's important to remember that, like, we don't have to wait till Monday. We don't have to wait until the beginning of July 1st. We don't have to wait until the new month. We don't have to wait until after the holidays are over, because before you know it, we're going to be talking about 2022, 2023. Your life starts now. Your life is right now. Consistency is more important than doing these super long fasts. And there's nothing wrong with doing these long fasts to give you a jump start or whatever, but don't be discouraged that you can't do a week-long fast or whatever. Know that the consistency is more important. I'm reaching 22 months now of consistent fasting. I've kept the weight off for this long, and I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud that even though I've had bumps in the road, I have found a way to at least get back on and try to do what I'm doing. So I think that's it. I think that's all I got. So I'm about to play this outro. I will see you guys soon. I think on Monday I'll have another motivational minute post that I did. But I think that's it, guys. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye.